Hi everyone, welcome to this video for D100 Dungeon, the game tracker mat. This is accessory free that's available from the Game Crafter. It's also available as a print and play from Drive-Thru RPG as well. Obviously if you buy it as a print and play then you won't be getting these physical cubes or crystals, so that's something to bear in mind. You can either supply your own or use this counters that you can make and cut out to use with this if you're getting the print and play version. Basically what does the game tracker do? Well, in a game of D100 Dungeon there's various tracks that you need to keep an eye on and make a lot of adjustments to. One of them's the adventurer's health, so your health points, and they can be tracked here using this section. So you begin the game with 20 health points, and as and when the adventurer loses health points you can just move this cube along the track, and as you gain and restore health points you can move them up a track. And that's basically how it works with these little cubes, or at times the game may be shipped with these crystals, so it all depends as to what's available in stock at the Game Crafter and to what's available. So sometimes these get swapped out. Sometimes you'll end up with cubes and sometimes you'll end up with crystals. Before you place the order you'll be able to see what version of the dungeon tracker you're going to end up getting, so keep an eye on that if you want specifics. The elements that it tracks is things like monster health. So if you encounter a monster that's got 16 health for instance, you can use these square cubes, and as and when you and the monster are going to take damage you can adjust these down the track, and if you take damage you can adjust yours down the track. That you can also set this up for tracking pack monsters. So sometimes you might encounter a monster and there might be 3 in a pack. So what you could do is you could use, if they had the first monster M1, you would use this line to track their health points, and say they had 4 health points you would move it there. If monster 2 had 5 health points you would track that monster there, and if monster in the pack 3 had say 4 health points you would track it there. And then you could track up to 10 monsters in this way, and if they take damage then you start from the left, which would be monster 1, and say you done 4 points of damage you would count off 1, 2, 3, 4, that monster's dead. That shows that you've only got 2 left remaining in the pack. So there's a bit of versatility there for able to use it for single monsters or indeed pack monsters as well. There's also a place to track the current quests modifier, so you can use this at the top of the screens, at the top of the track. So if it was a +5 encounter modifier on your quest log, then you would put that there as a constant reminder. Let's put all these over here for tracking monsters' health. The time track, so as you start the game you can move this this token onto the time track, and that tells you that then you have to spend 1 oil. There's a little diagram there to remind you, so you can use, instead of using the time track on the bottom of the adventure sheet here, you can use it to track the time as it expires in the dungeon, and the symbols are there that match the symbols on the time tracker here. So if you got to that point you know you'd need to make a wandering monster test. If you got all the way around to here then you would need to spend some food, and there's also a little red dot there to remind you to check for disease and poison, so that's quite useful. Keys as well, you might come across keys in the dungeon, so you can use these to track the number of keys you've got in that particular dungeon. So if you had 4 keys you could move it there, and it's again with levers as well, so you can track the amount of levers that you've got in the dungeon. So if you manage to open a lever door for instance, you could easily just move that down rather than having to make all the adjustments on your actual adventure sheet here on this track. And again, using that principle, again you've got a track for poison and oil as well, so you could track your poison and your oil your poison and your disease that you've got in the dungeon, and also oil. So if you've got 10 oil, for instance, you could put that there, 10 food and 10 picks, and you could then use the track in that way as well. So when you've finished playing a game, if you're still in the middle of a quest, a lot of all this information might still be relevant. The current time you're on, the keys that you're on, the number of poison and disease you've got, and the oil, food and picks, and etc. So it'd just be a case of then just making one alteration to your adventure sheet, rub out and change the different elements that for on this track onto the actual adventure sheet. So in a way it saves you a lot of time in game of rubbing out things and writing them in and adjusting them, and then at the end of the game just refresh what's on here onto the adventure sheet. If you have completed the quest, then the only thing that you'll really need to transfer from here to here is your adventurer's health points. So that sort of kind of like sums up what the game tracker does. It tracks all the game's elements of the D100 adventure sheet for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, and in the next one we'll be looking at another accessory, so stay tuned for that and take care. Bye for now.